Hey everyone, Flying Dutchie here. Welcome back to our tutorial as Sweden, and of course Norway as well, in our PU. And in this episode we are going to learn about colonization, and I want to go over some buildings we didn't look at yet. And for the rest, I think we're just going to take a look at other things that we didn't look at, but we will see later. So first of all, let's just take a look at how colonizing works in the game. So as you remember, the countries that are not colored in, for example here, you can see over here that this is a country, but it's a decentralized power. Nations share most, blah 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 blah, and this makes them prone to colonization by countries who do not see them as equals to be properly negotiated with for land rights. So we could colonize those people that are a decentralized power. So Koto is an unrecognized regional power, so we have to take them down with place, for example. And that means that there are a couple of things we can colonize. We can colonize all of this. We have some spots over there here that we can take. We have all of this. We have all of Middle Africa that is colonizable. We also see that we can colonize maybe over here. That is not possible because when we click on the state here on Mapuche, we can see that Argentina is having a claim here. And as long as Argentina has a claim here, no one else can colonize it. And the same counts for this one, I think. Yeah, so Chile and Argentina can colonize this this province, so we cannot. And the same counts for the colonies that are still left in America. So we can only colonize where there are no claims, and that is only in Africa at the start of the game. Even Papua, I think, is... Oh, actually, I think we could colonize Papua, but we will not. And here we cannot colonize, because that is part of Western Australia. Okay. Before we can colonize, one, you need an interest over there. Now, we don't have any interest over here, but we do have an interest over here in South Africa, because we have already a colony that we took by force, not by colonizing. So we need a play over here. And why am I going over here? Well, let me take a look at the states. Let's click it over here. Maybe, yeah, over here it is, I think. No, it's not over here. There it is. There is some severe malaria over here, and that will prevent us from colonizing until we have malaria prevention. Now when we go to South Cameroon, we have normal malaria. You see that this is orange and this is red. The normal malaria provinces we can colonize without malaria protection, but it will go very, very slow, as you can see here. When we have no protection, we get minus 90% colony speed. Now, before we can colonize, you need a state law for this. So let's go to our government laws, actually, and we can see that there is a colonization law over here. Let's take a look. At the moment we have no colonial affairs. If we want to colonize, we have to unlock the colonial institution, and there are three options. You can do a frontier colonization, and that is only when you have borders. So this is what America is doing. You have colonial resettlement. You get more migration attraction in unincorporated states. So the people will leave our incorporated states and will go live in the unincorporated states. So they will spread out further in the country. The same is actually for frontier colonization. So what is the difference actually? I guess this one can only be used next to each other, and this one can be used anywhere, I think. But then there is the one we are going to use, and that's colonial exploitation. That is this one. And you see all kinds of modifiers. But the most important thing is that we get more throughput for plantations, mines, forestries, and rubber. We are going to use our colonies to exploit the resources over there. At the moment we don't have any sugar, we don't have any dyes, and we want to get that for ourselves. And we can only do this by colonizing. The colony we already have does not have these goods, so there will be less starting wages. There will be more tension decay. We will take a look about that later, I guess. The subsistence output will be lower. So the peasants. So we need to try to put people into plantations. And the manufacturing industry, so steel, engines, furniture, will be not good in these states. So we want to use those for resources, agricultural and mines, and not industries. And that is what I want to do. Now you can see we cannot click it right now because we already trying to enact private schools. And let's take a look at the current law that is over here. So we only have 2%, so I'm going to cancel this one. When you cancel a law, you have to wait 2 years before you can do it again. It was going very bad anyway, so we will cancel this. Now let's go back to the colonial affairs, and we could click this now. And we see that we have a 24% chance to succeed. Why? Because we have endorsing interest groups in the government. The armed forces and the intelligentsia are in our government. We could get 40%. Why is that? Well, if we put the industrialists in as well, together with the intelligentsia and the armed forces, then we have a 40% chance to succeed. Who is against it? Only the rural folk. The other ones don't care. So is there a way for us to get the intelligentsia, industrialists and the armed forces in the government? That would be this. And the answer is yes, we can. It is actually one of our best options at the moment. And that is really nice, because now you can see that the backwards church, the landowners and the petite bourgeoisie as well, they also a bit backwards, and the rural folk too, as well, they will go in the opposition. And the groups, the industrialists and the intelligentsia, who are more for reforms, are now going to be in the cabinet. The armed forces are a bit for both sides. And that is really nice, because now we can have 3 groups in the government that are for colonization. So we will change this. We will get some radicals and some loyalists, because some people are angry that they are now out of the government. We click accept. And there we go. We have the 3 groups in our government right now that like colonial exploitation. So we have a 40% chance now, each tick, to get this. So let's enable it. There is no stall chance, because no one is against it in the cabinet, and there is also not even room for debate, only advance and success. So we're going to get this very quickly. Now let's, oh yeah, we need to get a new technology. That is where we left off as well. And then we will unpause the game again. So we did a couple of production things here. Some things are already spreading towards us. We can see that the Bessemer process is spreading from our technology spread. We could do more things here. We do not want to do a level 3 one, because that takes 11 years. Why is that? Well, we have a normal it's 13,100, but we pay 12,000 because we have 8 technologies from the previous area, not research. So you don't really want to do that unless you really desperately need something. You want to do that one. Take a look at society over here. Now we could go to Quinin. Quinin is giving us more colonial affair investment, so we can colonize quicker, and removes all effects from malaria in your own colonies and states. And we can now establish in severe malaria colonies, but most important for this one is that we can colonize quicker in malaria provinces. Maybe we should do that. So let's click Quinin, and then the game will queue up the things that we need. So it's gonna do pharmaceuticals first, giving a bit more healthcare, unlocks private healthcare and public healthcare, but don't really care about that right now. But then we have all the things we need for Quinin, and then we can get more colonization. So let's focus a bit on colonization as Sweden. Now, let's unpause. We do have some journal entries here that we still need to complete. In 24 months we need to have a university that is level 5. Now, that is not going to happen, because we have only a level 1 university. And 4 universities is way too expensive, so I'm gonna unmark this one. We will not complete this journal entry in time. We do have Patronize Romanticism. Any Swedish building is an arts academy of level 2. Maybe we can do that one. Is there anything else we want? Well, we want to go become liberal. We just need to enact a suffrage law. Census are universal. And then we can become liberal. So that would be nice, right? We have the Metropolitan Police. We can get this if we put our law enforcement to level 5. And we have Urbanizing Sweden. Now, what is Urbanizing Sweden? You need urban centers in your states. And that is a building that we didn't look at yet. So let's go to all our buildings, actually. Not per state, but in our whole country. Let's take a look at buildings we did not take a look at yet. So the food industries we know, right? We have one food industry. at the moment making groceries out of grain, which is way more efficient. Because 1 unit of grocery is 1.5 food compared to grain, and we even make more, so that is a really good thing to do. And you can make liquor out of sugar here as well. Now the textile mills we already talked about. The furniture we talked about. Tooling workshop, we are making tools out of steel at the moment. We have some paper mills that we need for our universities and our government buildings. They use paper. Steel mill to make tools and to make motor engines that we have over here. Then we have the shipyard. The shipyard is making the clippers that we need for our fishing wharves and our ports. And then we have the military shipyards, and we already know this because we have made our navy a little bit bigger. The arms industries for our troops. And then we are going to the farming buildings. So the farms, millet farms, livestock ranges make meat. A vineyard for wine. Then we have the coal and iron mines. You know that already. Cotton, tea, bananas for fruits. Then there are the barracks and the naval bases for our army and our navy. And then we have a building we did not take a look at yet, and that is the urban center. Now, what is an urban center? We have 5 levels of urban center in Svealand. Let's click on it. So an urban center will automatically appear when there is enough urbanization in the state. Let's also unpause because it takes too long. 1 level of urban center is created for each 5 urbanization in the state. That is a bit wrong, because it's for every 100 urbanization you get a level of urban center, and people can work here. Clergymen, shopkeepers, clerks and laborers are going to work in your urban center. Now, what do urban centers give? And how do you get... Let's first talk about how do you get urbanization. You get urbanization by building buildings in the state. A textile mill gives 20 urbanization. So 5 textile mills would increase the urban center with 1 level. And mines having a lower value. Iron mines give... Where is it? 10, because we have 50 from 5 mines. So that is what you can do. And then you get urban centers. And these urban centers are making the couple of things. They make services. Now services are consumed by pops of wealth of level 10 to 99 for services needs. And from 20 to 99 for leisure. They can also use fine arts and automobiles and radios and that kind of things. And yes, people can have clippers for their own leisure needs. But the services are a really good thing to get these needs completed. And we can increase this by putting some glass and wood in. We don't have any glass at the moment. We will get that later. We can also use gas streetlights in the urban center, so that people can see a bit better, I guess. And then we use a little bit of coal to get more services. Now there's also... At the moment we have personal transportation only. We could go to public trams. Then we are going to use 1 engine for 8 more transportation. Now how is the transportation in this state? Can we see that over here? No, because transportation is state specific. And we can see that in our capital we need more transportation. We are consuming it a lot. Our pops are consuming it. Our capitalists are using transportation. Even 3 laborers are using our transportation at the moment. So, and it's very expensive. So what we can do is go to public trams. And yes, we are going to use more engines, but that is fine because our engine building has still enough capacity. So let's enable this one. We are not going to get more services. I think our services price is fine over here. Otherwise this building will not make any money. So that is how an urban center works. And let's take a look at the ones in the other states. So here we don't need to enable anything because the transportation is super low. This would only make the building less profitable. And in Scania, we also don't have to do it. So only in our capital state we will put it on. The ports we have talked about, the ports we have talked about, logging camps for the wood and the hardwood that you sometimes need, the fishing wharves we talked about. And then I think we have talked about all the buildings. Now, if you want to see which buildings you still can build, just click on your Buildings tab, Urban, then go down. And you can see we can still build a glassworks. We don't have any glasswork right now. We have no fertilizer plant right now. And we have no explosives, and no artillery foundry, and no arts academy. And they are all used for their own things. If you click on Rural, then we can see which things we didn't build here. We did not build any silver mine, or lead mine, or a whaling station yet in our country. And we could build this in Norway. But that is how that works. Let's go to speed 4 and actually let's take a look at this event first. Make people radical or we make them a bit angry. We can make them angry. They are at plus 18. And what does it give? A industrialist that is happy gives 5% capitalist investment pool efficiency. Hey, that is nice. We're gonna get a bit more money into our investment pool. Now, what I am planning to do is put my taxes back to normal. If my people are getting taxed less, then the wages can go down in our buildings, and then we can make more dividends, and that will increase the amount that goes into the investment pool. You can see it immediately. If I lower this number, then our income tax goes from 17.5 to 15, and the consumption that we have goes to 42 to 35, and also all the taxes that are going per capita or per peasant is going down. Now this will cost us some money, but look what happens to the investment pool. 6.69. Let's see what happens next week, because the wages are going gradually down. 7. So the investment pool gets even more money, because the people in our country don't need the wages anymore to get their standard of living. What is this? We can make the landowners happy and the industrialists not happy. That sounds like a good thing to do, but this one gives them minus 10 strength, which we really like. We don't want to have the landowner strength, but yeah, let's do this one. Let's make them lose a bit of their clout. There we go. They went from 27 to 25.7. Very nice. We have also built a railway somewhere. Where is it? Here? Yeah, well, here we have a railway. We did enable wooden passenger carriages for some more transportation, but we really don't need it here, so we'll go back to cargo. Because if we go back to cargo, then the price goes a little bit more higher. And remember, the railways are subsidized by us, so we have to pay for the not being efficient. There was another thing I wanted to do. I think, and that is just my personal preference, that I am going to make my army buildings not privatized. And that is over here. The arms industries will not be privatized. If you privatize your arms industries, because we are not subsidizing it, right? No. Then you cannot dismantle it because they are owned by the local population, by your financial district. So if we have too many arms industries, then we cannot change anything about it. And I don't want to have that happen with my army. Is this one already privatized? Yeah, that is a bit annoying. Can I take this back from them? Yes, you can nationalize. Okay, that is fine. We have to give monetary compensation to our capitalists, but let's nationalize this building. That gave us a huge amount of debt, but we don't want our shipyards and our army buildings to be privatized, I think. The shipyards are fine. Yeah, the other ones can be privatized, but those, no. I don't want to have them privatized. Okay. We are still building a railway in Scania and in Svealand. I think we just built our first railway here. Yeah. Not profitable, as you can see, so we have to pay the people their money with subsidies, and that are listed over here. You can see we are using some to our railway and some trade centers. We did not talk about trade centers yet, I think. colonial enthusiasm. We have our first tick over here to get our colonial exploitation. We can get 20% more enactment chance. And we will go with that one. Because the other ones are not really helpful at all, actually. Okay. Can we improve with Britain again? Oh, we are still expelled. They expelled our diplomats, unfortunately. Now the nice thing is, when I build these railways, remember, we are using the road maintenance edict to get the infrastructure up, because we had infrastructure problems, right? Look, we only have spare of 2 over here. Now in Götaland we have a huge amount of infrastructure because we have a railway. So we can build 19 more buildings before we reach that cap again over here. But you can see in Scania we have the problem. But we are already using the road maintenance, so the railway in Scania is going to make things so much better for us. Now we have some movement. People want landed voting. Okay. And the rural folk does not like colonial affairs and they are angry. Well, screw you, I guess. Talking about screw, we just unlocked the screw frigate. It unlocks the reinforced wooden ship for the shipyards and the steamships for the military shipyard. So let's take a look at these things. Let's go to our shipyard. So we can now go to our normal shipyard. We can go from wooden ships to reinforced wooden ships. We are going to use a couple of engines for this and some planks. But we are going to double the amount of clippers. And remember, they are used in a lot of... they are used in the port, the fishing wharves and the whaling station. Now we do have some fishing wharves that don't use the latest production method. I know that from myself. So let's just go for this. The engines will not be a problem because we can still make 60. So the people that work in the engine factory can just go work there now because it's profitable again. And this means that my clipper price is now lower. So if I go to my fishing wharves, we see that some of them are simple fishing and some can still do fishing trawlers. So let's go and put everyone on the fishing trawlers. And there we go. Now our clipper price is pretty balanced in the market. See? And then we make a bit more fish, and when the fish is cheaper, people have easier time buying food. So that's really nice. But we can also do this with our military shipyard. Let's take a look at the military shipyard. It's actually the same thing. We are going to use some more planks, but we are going to make 10 more man-o'-wars. So let's go for it. Yeah, the building will not be profitable for a bit, because the people in the engine factory needs to show up. It takes a while. There we go. It's going to 10. And then slowly it will go to 11 and 12, because the people finally see that this building over there is profitable now. 11, and it will go to 20, because one factory can make 60. And that makes our man-o'-war price go down. Which could, in theory, mean we can increase our navy, but I'm not going to do it. Now, we are losing a lot of money. We are just absolutely not rich at the moment. And we are paying a huge amount of interest again. Which is horrible. And the financial districts are expanding a military shipyard. We don't like that at all. That is horrible. Because that means that the shipyard is going to make way more boats. But there's nothing we can do about it. It just happens. We cannot cancel this. So they will become very not profitable. Oh well. Nothing we can do about. We already had consideration for a colonial exploitation. We are having a lot of convoys. Now, let's take a look at our market again. So we are not making any luxury clothes ourselves. We are just importing them. Maybe we should get another import route. Maybe from the French. To make the price go down a little bit. We are absolutely not having enough furniture yet. We can still use more steel and more clothing and coal and more things. But yeah, let's just do one thing at a time. This railway will be very helpful in Scania. And where are my trade centers? There we go, trade centers. Who works here? The shopkeepers and the clerks. And how does this building work? We have 11 trade center buildings, and they are subsidized. They are making trade revenue. So I think all the trade routes are going through this center. Let's take a look. No, we have 29 in Svealand, 11 in Götaland, 2 in Zululand as well. I'm actually not sure how these things are created, I have to admit. The building owners are always the local workforce, okay. I guess they just get created out of nowhere when you are starting to trade. If I click this away, will they make more money? Yes. And what does a level do? I don't think anything. It just gives more people that can work here, I guess. Yeah. See, it goes up. When the building is profitable, the level will go up automatically, I think. Now we have another technology spread to us, the central banking. This gives -2 loan interest, which is very helpful because we are having a huge amount of loans. And we get 10% more minting. Now what is minting? That is also a form of income. There is a base of 500. And then compared to your GDP, that is this number here that is growing steadily in Sweden, we get a flat income bonus. And since we have 20% from banking and central banking, we get a 20% extra. So the higher your GDP, the more minting you get. Also gold mines give minting income, which we can focus on as well soon, because we are having colonies ready to take over gold mines. Okay, the railway has been built. You can see immediately people want to start working here. I will go without the passengers, because I don't think they need the transportation over here. Otherwise the building becomes too unprofitable. And then we have to pay for that, because we are subsidizing our railways. What is this? We have an advance for our colonial exploitation. Let's get more chance. We have 72% chance now. There is no chance to not get this, because everyone likes it that is in the cabinet. Hey, we can improve with Great Britain. Let's go over it. They hate us. Hopefully we can make them a bit happier. And that also means now that we look at Scania, we are now slowly getting our infrastructure up. So let's cancel the road maintenance here. There we go. It's now at 33. Next week it will be at... it will be good, because people are starting to get hired on the railways. There we go. And that means that we have some authority to spare. Is there any consumption tax we can do and it gives us a bit of money? Yes, luxury furniture. No, that is completely fine in my opinion. Because it's luxury furniture. Right. I think that is going to be fine. We have a diplomatic play from the Baltics that having a revolt. We will declare neutrality. You're not going to meddle over there. Okay. It's all looking good. I think the last thing that we will do is... of course we will go and make some colonies in the next episode. Let's talk about a couple of things that we did not look at yet. For example, over here we have a message setting. You can change every message in the game how you want it. You can have a pop-up, a feed, or a toast. It appears in the middle of the screen. And pop-up is going to be a bigger message. Now, you can change it how you want. I don't really meddle with it. There is a Wikipedia. Wages. Search. Military wages, government wage, normal wage, military wage, subsidized wage, government wage, average annual wage. You can just learn this way as well. Oh, we have a new lobby. because we are increasing relations with France. And we can stop this because we have 50. It won't go higher than that. So can we improve with someone else? So France is already at 50. We are using it in Austria. Prussia is already happy. Spain is happy. Let's go to the US. I mean, they are a great power after all. So let's just make them like us a bit more. And there is a music player. All kinds of musics you can do. Now, there's of course the main menu. You can see achievements over here that you want to get. Now, we have this journal entry still going. We are not going to succeed in this one, so I'm going to click it away. And we have a couple of messages over here. We can get prestige, but that is temporary prestige. Why would you like that? I don't know. Doesn't help, so... movement to preserve no colonial affairs gets more movement support. I don't like that. Or we're gonna piss off the rural folk even more. Let's not piss them off more. We will do this. This doesn't really matter, this political movement support. You can see it goes to 25. But that is not going to stop this, so... that was fine. An enemy of my enemy. The rural folk can join. That's fine, actually. Let's do that. Let's make them join the Swedish-Spanish Society. Then we go to +4 for the 2 groups in this one. And we piss off Russia a bit, because we hate them already anyway, so... that makes them a little bit happier, as you can see. Now, we are going to end this episode here. In the next episode, we will get this law, because we are almost there already, and then we will start colonizing. After I am done with this railway, I will stop building myself and I will let my investment pool go, I think. Because it is, we are getting too much debt otherwise. So hopefully you're still with me and I see you hopefully in the next episode. Bye bye.